Okay. Good morning, guys. My name is Hiroshima, affiliated by Data Society Alliance. And also, I'm in charge of the chair of IEEE Standard Association Standard Board and Data Trading System Working Group that creating the global standard in IEEE. So today, I'd like to introduce Japanese company or organization what we are doing. So this is my biography. I skipped this one. And this is my great pleasure to be here and to present. So in Japan, different to Europe, we do not have the particular regulation about the data. Only we have the privacy protection laws. But Japanese major organization proposing to government to make sure and move forward about the data trading or data federation. So this is the typical architecture, what we are doing now. We are expecting to have a couple of elements, technology elements that provide you with some trustworthy, that e-issue, e-delivery, timestamp, electric signatures. But even though we have such kind of technology element, it is not enough. We need how to use that and to forward the data between the different party to different party, and application it will be over there. So I skip this one. And first of all, please look at my video.
Gaia-X realizes deploying data spaces. We at DSA aim to create a prosperous society by distributing and utilizing data free flow with trust through industry, government, and academia collaboration. We call this data society our goal and mission. To realize this data society, Japan has advocated the concept of DFFT, Data Free Flow with Trust, to the international community, so that everyone can freely use reliable data with trust. What is a data space? Based on those concepts, data space is where organizations and people with common goals collaborate and utilize data under the participants' sovereignty. DSA is developing and providing the technology building blocks to deploy a data space and testbed environment for the evaluation phase. The term Gaia-X is the name of all our activities, not just the name of a particular technology or service. According to the common consent in IOFDS, data space is a decentralized ecosystem with common policy and rules defined by a governance framework that enables secure and trustworthy data transactions between participants while supporting trust and data sovereignty. Therefore, several data spaces will be deployed independently from the legacy business domain. Now, let's take a look at more details on data spaces. First of all, to create a data space, you have to clarify the following topics. Stakeholder. Who is going to participate in your data space? Object. What kind of data will be handled in your data space? Protocol. How do participants collaborate and handle the objects? Trust mechanism. How does data space maintain trustworthiness? What kind of mechanism will guarantee the reliability and integrity of participants and data? To participate in a data space, authenticity must be verified following each data space's rules. Now, look at the role of stakeholders. First, data space authority. At least one or more data space authority should be appointed. This authority is an individual or organization that manages a data space's users, along with its daily use and maintenance. These may be called as data space operator. Participants. Participants are the individuals or organizations that provide or receive data using a data space's standard functions and collaborate over the data space. Furthermore, other stakeholders called intermediators provide services to enforce data collaboration. For examples, data trading market operators. Data trading market operators act as an intermediary between data senders and receivers to provide trading the data to other assets. Data catalog site operators. Data catalog site operators offer a searching function by which participants can search available data. Depending on the data space's policies, there are also cases where they offer catalog sites publishing cross-domain data from multiple data space catalogs. When you enter a data space, you can create a data catalog using the tools presented to advertise the overview of data you can provide others. Your data catalog will be displayed on catalog sites upon your request. Of course, you can control the scope of the advertisement. Now, other participants can find your data on the catalog site. If other participants want to receive your data, they send a request to you through the connector provided to each participant. When you receive a request from another participant, you can verify their authenticity. Then, if you accept their request, you can transfer your data through the connector. Also, you can reject the transaction if you do not permit this request. On the other hand, when you receive data from another participant, you can verify the authenticity and integrity of the data by connector before it is transferred to your side. This way, participants can securely exchange data in a data space. There are 3 different types of transaction pathways. The simplest is a one-to-one exchange of data between participants. The other way is the participant distributes the same data to multiple participants. The last one is multiple participants send and receive the data sequentially. Of course, it is possible that each participant creates a process for the received data and sends it to the next. As you can see, DataSpace provides multiple ways to make transactions with security and trustworthiness. Those methods do not depend on a particular dataset format. Such a standardization of the functions of data spaces enables efficient collaboration. Even if participants participate in other data spaces, the connectors they use are all standardized so they can participate in multiple data spaces smoothly. At DSA, we aim to create case models for using this mechanism in fields such as disaster prevention, battery passports, the circular economy, and academic research. We also anticipate its future use in the medical and tourism fields. Data spaces built with Gaia-X technology are not limited to particular domains, but offer a highly versatile mechanism through which various communities, fields, and industries can introduce their data spaces. Let's create your own data space with Gaia-X.
So this is the we are creating the building blocks to create data space by users. And on the other hand, we formed one organization. It's called International Open Forum on Data Society. 2023, I called to the people to join together in Brussels. At that time, the Catena-X, Gaia-X, IDSA, and Fireware Foundation, they joined together on the same meeting room on the table, and we start collaboration. And at least every 6 months, we have an in-person meeting called IOFDS in-person meeting. And now we little bit changed the name from Roundtable to International Open Forum on Data Society. And we are keeping a couple of the times meeting, and sometimes we join together with another meeting, like I2P meeting, IDSA meeting. It's called Data Spaces. And we finished the third Data Space Week, October, and we are expecting to have the next Data Space Week in Luxembourg on March. So from this IOFDS, very simple definition of what is a data space. We agree to adopt this sentence. That is, a data space is a decentralized ecosystem with common policy and rule defined by a governance framework that enables secure and trustworthy data sharing among participants while supporting trust and data sovereignty. So very simple sentence, but unfortunately, before this agreement, we don't have a clear definition about data spaces. Every organization has a different definition. This is minimum definition. Of course, every organization add or adopt this sentence, but this is very limited, very similar, a simple sentence. And so in Japan, we are trying to make data as, data is intangible and easy to copy and paste. So in Japan, we are trying to make a data as tangible asset, same as the product. So that is a data trading market, creating a usage right. So this is what kind of the rights we have to use the data. So this is very simple sentence, and we define what kind of rights people have to have. And if you're creating some data, you already have the data, but if you wanted to provide someone, you make sure what kind of things receiver can do about the data. That is usage right. And unfortunately, data cannot use or cannot control only data set. Always we need some, the agreement between provider and receiver, and more important is, so data set is not complete. Usually we need some relevant information that support to use a data set. So then we bundle the data set, trading term, and usage right. It's called data distribution package. So this is a kind of the system we are trying. It's same as a stock exchange market. So everybody creating the data usage right and send that to the receiver with bundled with a data set and relevant information with signature. And middle of this system is a data trading system operators that works as a notary, that guarantee integrity of sender, integrity of the receiver, and the integrity of the data set itself. So this is the object. And we try to do the trial test in Japan as the book building. How much you are going to pay for this data? So as a book building. And on the other hand, we are active in IEEE standard. This is global standard. So, and first one is we creating data trading system working group create 3800. 3800 2024 has been published last year. It's already published as IEEE standard. And now we are creating 3800.1. And so first one is 3800 2024. This is very simple. Reference architecture of data trading that define name of the role and also the object. So we define data trading system as like this one. So this is data trading system, and this is the data provider, data receivers, and trusted third party. What kind of object will be handled between those stakeholders? We define that. So this is object is this is stakeholders, data provider, user, and operator, and trusted third party. And this is the object. As I told, data set and data set attribute information and trading term and data catalog should be binding each other. This is very important. And now we move on to 3800.1. .1 precise more about object framework and protocol, how to handle the object, what kind of detail of the object. This is the new standard we are creating now. I skipped some slides. So what is the next? We have the common architectures, common framework, and common protocol. But how to use those ones? For data trading system operator, we have the big problem. I'm the intermediaries. I'm sitting on the middle of provider and users. What the problem is, if some of my clients ask me, hey, I want to use the healthcare data, how can I find healthcare data? Which data space has it? I cannot find a proprietary data spaces. Now we are trying to creating, let's see, a new protocol to discovery data spaces. sometimes people say interoperability. As like this, data participant on the data space A and the data space B connected by gateway converter. This is not interoperability. This is converter. So the interoperability means if participants to join the data space A, data space B, using unified protocol or unified method, that is interoperability. We never say interoperability between internet to internet, data space to data space. It is not interoperability. Interoperability is same way to access for the data space. So if the people in automobile interested in healthcare, if here is a gateway, it's going to be president or going to be king. It doesn't match for our concept. That, because of the data space, should be autonomous deployment. So if healthcare and automobile people to collaborate each other, we may create new data spaces. Even create a new data space, we are keeping common protocol to access, to find. So this is a new standard. What we are going to try is, I skip someone. So I hope to join some proprietary data space. Every data space has a different policy, different language, different regulation, different connectors. Hey, I hope to join your data space. What kind of scope of your data space? Would you give me what kind of requirement? What kind of credential I have to have? Such kind of protocol is required. It's called, let's see, the standard for data space discovery protocol between data trading system operator and data space authority. This is missing part. That we start creating this standard in IEEE from next year. So IEEE standard is global standard. It's open for everyone. So I'm expecting people to join IEEE activity. The membership of IEEE is not required. Everybody can join, and we can collaborate each other. I think we do not have enough time, so please look at. This is a data space discovery protocol is here. And so this is the working group homepage. If you are interested in creating this standard, please join. So IEEE have the fast track right to ISO. Once we creating the IEEE standard, it is easy to put on the ISO standard. It's global standard. So that is my role. And I hope today everybody to join this standard activity. So usually we have the every 2 weeks meeting by teleconference. Thank you very much.
My name is Michelle Robitaille. I'm CEO of Digital Trust Canada. And I must say that I'm very proud and pleased to be here today and to address this very important network. As Digital Trust Canada becomes the official Gaia-X Canada hub, it's an exciting journey on which we are embarking. So very pleased to be here. A little bit about Digital Trust Canada. We are a not-for-profit organization based in Canada's National Capital Region, actually on the Gatineau side in Quebec, and we work with industry, public sector, and private sector to enable the advancement of digital trust technologies, verifiable credentials. So my role for you today is to give you a bit of insight as to how we decided to join this wonderful international community and some of the challenges we're facing and how we believe that together we can actually help build Canada's digital resilience and actually help us collaborate more closely with the international stage. So first off, we know that there's rising cross-border data flows. AI adoption is going, is exponential. We have various fragmented frameworks. We are dealing with challenges of interoperability. We have geopolitical challenges. And even in Canada at home, I don't know if some of you have been following Canadian politics lately, but we have provinces and territories, and we actually had trade barriers across our various jurisdictions. We also have challenges around credential mobility within the various territories. So over the summer and over the last year, we've been looking at these challenges really hard because, we were wanting to do digital identity adoption, and there were some challenges there. We all faced a COVID pandemic, which had some ripple effects on misinformation, disinformation, perhaps around what digital identity is all about. And it did create some frictions at home. More and more, we're facing challenges around data sovereignty, interoperability, and we feel at DTC that Gaia-X and all the work that has been done over the years is a great foundation for us to build upon and to look at as a model for Canada. So as I was mentioning, interoperability is a global priority. Together, we need to face these global challenges. And, talking about digital identity and foundational identity, this is one area where Canada needs to do a little bit of work because we don't have foundational identity. Those of us who travel internationally have a passport, but we don't have a digital identity like an IDAS and we have social insurance numbers. So there's some challenges there as far as how we're going to be dealing with a foundational and a federated approach. But one thing is for sure is that we have a common alignment around trust, privacy, and responsible data use. So this is where we unite. So we have some structural differences that do create frictions, but not barriers. And for us, Gaia-X is a global starting point. So how are we going to approach this? So as I mentioned, Canada has a long history. We have a lot of work that has been done in the digital credential and trust space. But we need to start with the basics. So working with our CTO, who could not join us here today, his name is Jacques Latour. Some of you probably have started seeing his name. He's been contributing to some of the technical discussions. We will be starting with a trust plane. So we need to agree on our common infrastructures. So the establishment of our registry of registries in Canada. There's digital credential companies who are issuing credentials. They have registries, but there's no real registry of registry that ensures authentication and conformity. So we're really starting with the basics. There's extensive amount of work around digital governance, standards, pilots, ideas on how we might be able to leverage and implement use cases in Canada, but we need to really have a common language across jurisdictions and federally led. These are conversations that are happening right now. And then, of course, we need to quickly demonstrate how a trusted data space can actually be a lever of acceleration for Canada and all of our ambitions, whether it's facilitating international collaboration, accessing new international markets. So we really want to very quickly demonstrate a Canadian use case that is live operational. So it's a three-step formula: trust, management, and usage. So what you see here is we're not starting from scratch, and this is the beauty of actually collaborating with Gaia-X. You've put in so many hours and a significant investment from the European Union and all your individual nations who are contributing to this amazing network. Well, Canada wants to be able to participate, be at the table, leverage the learning so that we can actually help our own country's digital resilience, support our industries, but also our SMEs, and hopefully facilitate some academic collaborations as well. So we aim to leverage our global pilots that are in existence. So Pontus X has already a really interesting initiative started with UBC, and we are having some conversations. The initiative there is called Gaia-X, and we look forward to collaborating with them. There's interesting pilots as well around mobile driver's license, and of course the EU and Canada have worked together on an EU-Canada interoperability study. It was published by the Digital Governance Council of Canada. If you haven't read it, I strongly recommend that you do. And what we want to do is align and leverage this collaborative framework so that we can actually test some of the proposed pilots. And of course, this is where we will need to get the support of Roland and the team on how to best and when to best launch a sprint so that we can quickly and effectively get to that interoperability testing. So in essence, it's a very short presentation. I want to say we are here to really establish the first steps towards what we hope is going to be a very strong structural collaboration between the Gaia-X community and Digital Trust Canada and the entire Canadian community. We are proud to be the first hub in Canada, so Gaia, the first official Gaia-X related hub, and we are excited to continue the conversation and to explore potential opportunities of collaboration. So my colleague, Phil Roberts, who is sitting right behind Roland, and I really appreciate all the learnings over the last 2 days. We're going to be here for the rest of the afternoon, and we would welcome the opportunity to connect with you and to learn on how we might be able to connect on some initiatives that perhaps you have underway. The QR code is my LinkedIn. You can connect with me directly. And with this very short presentation, I thank you for your time.